Okay, so we've got General Towns versus General Alexander, but I can't build any units. So that means no units from the Command Center, Supply Center, Barracks, War Factory, or Airfield. Rangers that spawn from destroyed buildings, as well as Ranger drops, are allowed, and Chinooks that spawn from newly constructed supply centers are allowed too. Now the dozer that we've got out on the field, that's the one and only dozer that we'll be using here today. If that gets destroyed, it's pretty much game over. Anyways, on with the battle. So we just built our power plant, going for a barracks scaffold next. We'll come back to that in a sec. I want to get 3 supply center scaffolds as well. So the thing with Alexander is she'll launch an A10 strike pretty much right off the bat. So you want to be able to have enough bait for that A10 strike. And with the A10 strike, it goes on cash value. So with 3 supply centers, that's 6 grand. So that's going to be more than enough to bait out that A10 strike. Now, I want to move my dozer towards the resource pile, and that's where I'm going to build my real supply center. Now, with the A10 strike, when Alexander prompts the hold the line from her strategy center, that'll occur about 1 minute 20 into the battle. That's when you know when to cancel the scaffolds. You can leave it a little bit later if you want to, just to play it safe, but right after that prompt has been made, you can cancel your buildings. So we're going to build some defense next, because we've got to be able to defend ourselves against the Alpha Aurora bombers as well as the Comanches. So I've got 2 scaffolds, one we're building, the other we're not. So the one that we're not, that's going to be kind of a bait. I want to be able to make sure my dozer is well protected and doesn't get hit by those Aurora bombers. And the barracks that we built in front of the command center, we built it there, 1 for bait, but 2 we want the capture upgrade. And if that barracks turns into 2 rangers when it's destroyed, that's going to be great for me, because I can use those rangers to capture the artillery platform or capture the oil derricks that are off to my left. And onto my left there is a cash pile, and the cash pile I believe has $2,500 as well. So the extra cash is going to be very helpful. If we can get an early capture on those oil derricks, that will be great, because spendage is going to be quite low since we're only using 1 dozer to build things. Here comes the attack. Now, I'm very happy with how things turned out. I did lose my command center, but I didn't lose my defense. And that's what really matters at this point in time, is the defense. See, with the command center, I can rebuild that later when we have like rank 2 or rank 3, and then I can actually properly utilize the command center and do A10 strikes on Alexander later. So with those 2 rangers that are moving, I decided to change their path a little bit, because I didn't want to get too close to the water there. If you get too close to the water, it could trigger the Chinook attacks that she does. She likes to sneak in some Chinooks full of rocket troops, rangers, a sentry drone, and a pathfinder. So I don't want that happening right away. I want to be able to get my defenses up first, and then I can worry about the Chinooks later. So with General Towns, as you know, he's going to require a lot of power. I'm going to require a lot of defenses, so that does mean I'm going to need a lot of power plants to get things moving. Now, with the laser turrets, they're like the best base defense in the game, so I got to have enough laser turrets in play so then I can pick off those Comanches and Aurora bombers to get my rank up. And when we get our rank up, we'll go for a triple A10, and we'll get the her supply center out of the way. That's going to be the key to victory here, is taking out her supply center, and then we can take out her airfield and war factory, and she won't be able to rebuild those, because you need a supply center to build those things. Now, coming up to the particle cannon, the first one will usually go for barracks, so I'm going to sell off my barracks, no problem there, and we're going to get that cash back from selling off. Now, as for the next A10 strike, notice how I built a couple of laser scaffolds next to my supply center. Like I said before, the A10 strike goes on cash value. So I built the laser scaffolds there to increase the cash value of the supply center. So I'm going to cancel out those 2 scaffolds and then sell off my supply center and then the A10s are going to hit nothing. Now this also gives me a very good excuse to build a new supply center, and then that gives me another Chinook, which will generate even more cash. So I'm going to have 2 Chinooks gathering resources plus 2 oil derricks, so financially speaking we're going to be pretty decked out on money.
What's the story? Any more projects?
Yep, so now I'm going for that supply center. I built 1 laser turret just so I can make sure that my oil derricks are defended to some extent. I don't want to lose my oil derricks to Comanches. That would be very bad for me.
That one's done. Sounds good.
So, your overall strategy is to bore me off the battlefield.
Good area.
It's all
So here comes the next wave, and yeah, as you can see, we're able to pick off the Comanches, but we can't really do anything against those Alpha Aurora bombers just yet because we don't have enough laser turrets. So the Aurora bombers, they're going for the laser turret that's sort of like the closest one to her base, which means that the other 2 lasers that I got are going to be within range of actually destroying those planes.
You are pushing me over budget, General.
So since the attack has finished, I'm building up my command center again. It's kind of early for me to be doing that. I probably should have built some more laser turrets to act as defense, but with the command center back in play, I can also use satellite scans. And satellite scans can come in handy for the bait outs of the A10 strike. Because what I'm going to be doing later is utilizing laser turrets to be my bait pretty much from here on out. Now, in terms of laser turrets, we're pretty, pretty decked out on defense for, somewhat. Against the Comanches, absolutely, but against the bombers, not so much. Now, I want to try and reinforce my defense, so I'm going to rebuild the laser turret that got destroyed, and I've got 3 scaffolds. So since the money is coming in for me, I can afford to splurge on scaffolds, and I don't mind losing, $1 grand or 3 to Alpha Aurora bombers.
Make my own road.
So I'm gearing up for the next set of particle cannons. So this one, I know she's going to aim at a power plant and a barracks. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting up those scaffolds right up the front. I know she's not going to do any attacks because she did launch an attack earlier on, so I don't have to worry too much about that. So we cancel out, easily baited, and we can move on to the next thing. So I think one thing I probably could have done a bit sooner is I think I should have made a move on her artillery platform, because I do have a few rangers sitting near my defenses and scaffolds. I think I could have used those to capture the artillery platform, taken out the EMP Patriot and gotten a little bit of EXP. We do get there in the end. I think I just could have gotten there much sooner.
I'm just amazed.
That
Do you
one
even
sounds
have
good.
any tactics, General?
Bring on the scaffolding.
So now that we got that satellite scan, I can actually take a peek at her planes. So that's going to be very helpful with trying to figure out when she's doing an attack, or if she's just going to keep hovering her bombers around. Now, I did notice right at the end there, she's moving her Comanches to attack. So I'm going to get my dozer out of the way, so then we can avoid any damage. I don't mind losing scaffolds here, because we are sitting on 18 grand. 18 grand, we've still got resources at our main resource pile, plus there's like 3 more resource piles near the artillery platform, and then you got the 2 oil derricks. So this is the thing, because spendage is so low, I'm going to be able to generate so much cash.
That one, keep him busy. Always prepared.
Yep, so I finally made the move on the artillery platform. So that will get me a little bit more EXP to work with.
Made in the US
And we're just trying to bolster our defense as much as we can, as well as the power plants. We do need to have some power plants in reserve, just in case she does launch an attack and targets the reactors. So 72 power, and we're only using like 46, so that's pretty good.
To underestimate me.
Let's take the building.
Now with the laser turret that's being built right now, the reason why we've done that is for the Chinooks. So that's the same thing with the 2 laser turrets down there. So near where that reactor is going to get placed. So those two laser turrets are going to be for Chinooks too. So the only spot that hasn't really been covered with for the Chinooks is that spot near the water. And even if she does launch an attack, her units are going to have to come to me, which means that my laser turrets are going to pick those units off one by one. So no big deal there. So I did kind of let time get the best of me there, but we do have enough time to get some bait going. So I'm quickly spamming the laser turrets so then I can get the bait off. So the A-10s usually go like right after each particle cannon strike. Now this is the new thing that I'm doing. I'm using the satellite scan at her command center, so then I can take a peek at the path that those A-10s are flying in. So with the path, I can get an idea of which way they're going, and then if I'm right, I can cancel out whatever scaffolds, and if the dozer's there, I can move him out of the way too. So pretty covered on the A-10s, and we know exactly what we want to do with the particle cannons. Because she's launching 3 particle cannons on me now, but 2 of them are aiming at the power plant scaffold, whilst one's aiming at the barracks scaffold. So pretty much everything except for the Comanches and the bombers are accounted for.
I'll build anywhere.
And here we go. So this is exactly why I built the bait. It's just so those bombers don't do any real damage to me. But downside is those lasers, they're too far away. They can't get in enough hits to destroy the bombers. So this is the plan now, is we want to try and push our line more and more forward, and by doing that, that means that we're going to have more lasers that are going to be nearby to try and pick off those bombers and get me the EXP that we need. Yep, so I lost the artillery platform. Comanche left my rangers alone, which is kind of good because I can use those rangers later if I wish. Now with the Chinooks, we're going to collect the other resource pile that's nearby. Again, we're still sitting on 28 grand, and we still got those 2 oil derricks. So money really isn't an issue. Now we're just going to pretty much chill out for a little bit. And
What's the story?
the thing is, like, I'd like to build a war factory and move up on the tech tree. It's just the risk of the bombers was scaring me, because if I build my war factory and strategy center and get to particle cannons, there is that risk that the bombers could come after the particle cannon that I'm building, and that might destroy the dozer. And I really didn't want to take that risk. So here comes the Chinook that I was telling you about, that comes near the water. And as you can see, they have to come to me to make any moves. So my lasers are going to pick them off pretty easily. Now going in for bait one more time. Same thing, 1 barracks, 1 power plant, easy work. And since I didn't really have a lot of time, I decided to do the same thing as before. A couple of scaffolds near the supply center, to increase the value, and then we'll just sell off the supply center, and we can get another Chinook as well to help improve our resource gathering. Not that we really need it by this point, but the extra Chinook could come in handy in case we want to do like ranger drop-offs at the other islands on the map. So we've got more options.
You don't want to tell me, do you?
All finished. Let's build. Make my own road. Obviously. Let's work here. Let's destroy.
I'd attack if I were you, General. If you wait, then I'll just have one more super weapon fire at you.
Always ready. Bring on the scaffolding. Sounds good.
My greatest super weapon is my brain, would you read, General?
What's the story? Made in the USA. Get to work. Made in the USA. Made in the USA. Sounds good. Get to work.
So, your overall strategy is to warn me off the battlefield.
Good area. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Warning, party time activated.
If you fail plan, you plan to fail, General. Keep out.
Loaded US Wally. I got the goods. Establish supply route. Loaded US
So
Wally.
by this point, I kind of got a little bit sick of waiting, because here's the thing, I can't do anything until I hit that rank 3, and she's not attacking me with her Comanches and bombers. So I decided, let's drop off one of our rangers and we'll take out this Avenger here, just so we can get a little bit of EXP and hope that it's enough to get us that rank 3. See, if we can get that rank 3 and take the supply center and the airfield out of the equation, then I'd feel a lot more comfortable with building a war factory and then getting that strat center and particle cannon on the go here. Until then, I'm not going to make any risky moves.
I warn you not to underestimate me.
Beautiful. So that's just enough for rank 3. So going for triple A10 and going straight for that supply center like I said I would. Now, thing with the triple A10 strike, I wanted that just for the extra power, because the Avengers can counteract the missiles of the A10s. So you want to have enough missiles to make sure that the Avengers can't, you know, minimize that damage and then prevent me from destroying the supply center. So now the supply center is out of the game, we just have to wait on the A10s to be ready one more time, use it on the airfield, and then I can go to War Factory and move on to the rest.
Loud and clear.
I've been analyzing your
But
tactics.
for now, I'm going to set up my scaffolds. We're going to do another bait out of her A10 strike. So, like 7 scaffolds there, so, 8 scaffolds, so that's 8 grand worth of stuff. And then I'm just going to wait for
Loaded with US
the clock to
Wally.
tick down. They can set up the barracks and the power plant scaffolds, cancel them out, cancel out the laser turret scaffolds, and then we'll be golden.
Serving our country. I'll get it there.
So with our Chinooks, I decided to try something a little bit different. I'm just moving the Chinooks to reveal a little bit of the map. I'm using them like spies. See, by doing that, it means I can have a better look at her Comanches and her A10s when they make their move. So with the Comanche side of things, that's easy. I just want to be able to know when her next attack is coming. The A10s, on the other hand, again, this is me just trying to get an idea of the pathway that the A10s are taking. If I know that they're in the direction of my scaffolds, then I know we're good. I can go with the cancel out and then move on to the next thing, or just wait on the A10s to be ready.
I want you not to underestimate me.
Okay, so the time has come. We're using our A-10 strike to destroy our airfield. It was kind of a long time coming, but we eventually made our way into our base. Did get a little bit worried because some of my missiles were hitting that cliff there, so not a good look, but we did take out the airfield in the end. She is going to send out a few Comanches. That's going to be fine. We can pick those off and won't have to worry about them again. Now, the big concern is that she's still going to have some Comanches patrolling parts of the map, and if I get too close to certain sections, those Comanches could come into play and basically destroy whatever unit I've got in that section. And I don't want it to be my dozer, so we're going to try and play things cautiously still. So we're just setting up our bait for the next round of particles and A-10 strikes. And with our dozer, I think we're just holding off for now. And we can finally cancel out those laser turret scaffolds. I'm not going to need them now since the bombers are out of the equation. See, those are the 3 Comanches. So those Comanches will patrol certain sections of the map. And like I said, if I get too close to one of those sections, then she'll attack me with those Comanches.
Warning, particle cannon activated.
So yeah, one more time, cancel out on those, and then we'll cancel out on those laser turrets a little bit later. And normally I would use the satellite scan on a command center to see that flight path of those A-10s. I don't really need to do that now. All I need to do is I could wait to see those A-10s in the view on my map, because I reveal part of the map with those Chinooks, and then I could look at the flight path that way. It just means I won't have enough time to you know, make any sudden moves in case the A-10s were hitting something that I didn't want it to hit.
All finished.
Not quite, that was a misclick. So I do want a war factory. Airfield's just going to take up too much space, and with a war factory, even if it does get destroyed, which it doesn't, it can spawn 5 rangers, which I could use later on to help in destroying other things or capturing oil derricks, or yeah, because there's 2 more oil derricks on the map. Not that we need it. We've got 62 grand pretty much. Now I am building more laser turrets. Now you're probably thinking, okay, why are you building more laser turrets? You just killed the airfield. It's not like she's got anything else, but I'm still very cautious of those 3 Comanches, and again, I don't want them making any moves that you know, get me in trouble. So I'm gonna build some more lasers to make sure that I'm okay. I didn't really need to do that, but again, I'm playing cautiously, and to some degree, I guess I'm playing scared. Because we're 31 minutes into the battle here, and could you imagine my reaction if I was to lose my dozer at this point? I would be fuming if I lost my dozer at this point, because it would mean I'd have to redo all of this and hope for an attempt where the Comanches and bombers are nice to me compared to what we've been getting. I mean, like, what we've been getting has been pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to get RNG like this again.
Always ready. Keep busy. Go up. Not a job. I'll build anywhere. Make my own road. Not a job. Keep busy. Make my own road. Keep busy. I'll build anywhere. Not a job. Bring on scaffolding. Go up.
Yep, so I've set up all of my scaffolds for the next wave of attacks. I did use a satellite scan because I was tempted to use my A-10s on the war factory next. I changed my mind. I decided to use it on an EMP Patriot as well as an artillery platform. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. I thought, well, one, all of those Avengers should be able to counteract my A-10 missiles, for one, or even destroy the A-10 planes themselves. So that's one thing. Another thing is, we're still only rank 3. So I thought to myself, well, if we can get particle cannons on the go here, we could use those to pick off those Avengers, keep the War Factory in play, and just use those Avengers to help generate the EXP that we need to get rank 4 and rank 5. And with rank 4 and rank 5, you could get range drops, you could fuel air bomb, Spectre gunship. So I was thinking like that, just to increase the number of weapons that I've got available to me. But of course, I don't have to play it like that. I could just build a boatload of particle cannons and then take her out that way.
Any more construction destroyed. Lay the foundation.
Your overall strategy is to warn off the battlefield.
Upgrade those spotlights.
So since we're getting a particle cannon soon, I'm selling off some of my laser turrets. I don't really need them. I can just sell them off so then I can not use up as much power. Now, honestly, I probably should have just sold off all the laser turrets or most of them, because she wasn't going to attack me with anything else. But I figured I'd sell them in a staggered way, so then, well, one, I can counteract her Comanche still if she does decide to go into my base. So that's one thing. Another thing is, if I was to sell off all of them, I would have a lot of I'd have a lot of unused power to play with, and it's not like I'd need that many particle cannons to finish off General Alexander. So I thought, okay, we'll just sell off a few for now, and then if we need to sell off more later, we can do it that way.
I take my time.
On the job.
So Alexander's tried to sneak in with the Chinook, and that's why we got those two lasers there. It was just to pick that off, and we can move on to the particle cannon. Got enough bait for the next particle cannon attack as well as A10 strike. Now we do want to keep those two lasers there that picked off that Chinook, because she might do it again.
Warning, particle cannon activated.
I want you not to underestimate me.
Lay the foundation. That one's busy.
And now we got two particle cannons. We are going to go for a third one, but just keep in mind, with two particle cannons, we could destroy a command center. We could also destroy a super weapons if we want to. Now, going for that third one, and honestly, I was a little hesitant to put it in that spot, because I was thinking, okay, well, this is the spot where I've been baiting out all of those A10 strikes, because now it'll mean that I'll have to adjust, you know, how I've been doing things. So it's sort of like a muscle memory type of thing. I would put the barracks and power plant scaffold in one spot. Now I've got to put the laser turret scaffolds in another spot. So it can wreck that muscle memory side of things if you're not, you know, if you're not with it. But by this point, one A10 strike can't really hurt me all that much. Now, she did try to do another Chinook sneak attack on me. Again, two laser turrets are going to be enough to pick those off. Plus, I do have like other laser turrets nearby, so they're probably also contributing to that too.
Clocked in. More projects.
And since we've got yellow on power, we do need to get some reactors. So we'll take a break from the particles, get our power back up to speed, and then go from there.
Any more projects?
So this was kind of a risky move. I decided to try an A10 command center and then combo that off with my own particle cannon. I could have waited on both of my particle cannons to be ready and then done it that way, but fortunately for me, I was able to get most of the A10 to do its job, and that is enough to destroy a command center from here with a particle cannon.
Any more projects?
So yeah, it was close, but it was just enough. Now, you're probably wondering, well, you still got two more dozers. Why have you destroyed a command center? Why didn't you just wait on your other particle cannons to be ready? And that is a fair point, but the thing with Alexander is she doesn't actually rebuild her command center. And because she doesn't rebuild her command center, it means that there's no more A10s, and I don't need to bait that out anymore. See, her dozers aren't even flinching. They're still in the exact same spot as before. It's only when I touch her other buildings that her dozers will react. So now it's just a case of using our particle cannons to destroy her buildings one by one, and then we win.
What's the story?
But we still need to take out those dozers first. So that's going to be like target number one with our next particle cannon attack. Alrighty, so particle cannon's ready. We're going to go for the reactors, go into dozers, and then we'll come back to the other two reactors on that other side there. And with that, she can no longer rebuild any of her things. And we just want to keep taking out those reactors as much as possible, so then we can shut down the particle cannons that she's got. See, the particle cannons is pretty much her only weapon left that she can use against me, but I know how to counter it, so she's got nothing. Now, I've got the rank 4 and I went for Ranger Drop. So with the Ranger Drop, I can use those to capture like other oil derricks on the map, like that one that's in the middle, but I do need more EXP to get to that rank 5. So I decided to place the Ranger Drop in the top left corner. Now I knew full well that this might not work because one, she's got a lot of defense and that might be able to shoot down my plane. But another thing, she's still got Comanches patrolling the map. So she could always send in those Comanches to destroy my Rangers. So 3 Rangers survived. I tried my best to get them out of harm's way from that artillery platform. And yeah, the Comanches came. I got 1 Ranger that survived, but we're just prolonging the inevitable here. So we did lose all the Rangers from that one. No big deal. We can just focus on our next particle cannon. And we're going to take out a bunch of her power with that one. And yeah, she's got a lot of Avengers here. And my earlier plan to, you know, try and use particle cannons on the Avengers, I didn't actually need to do that. Because by this point, even if we hit the rank 5, it's not like those other general powers are going to add much more to the battle. It might speed up a few, it might speed things up a little bit more, but other than that, it's not going to really help me all that much. Now with my particle cannon, I shouldn't have gone for, I don't know why I went for the artillery platforms with my particle cannons, but for some reason I did. I should have just aimed those at the other Avengers, and that probably would have gotten me that rank up, but no biggie. Alrighty, next particle cannon. Pretty straightforward. We're just going to go on a straight line this time. That way we can shut her down and get rid of her power plant that's next to that particle cannon there. So still not quite rank 5. We're getting very close. Like one more thing that I can destroy, and then we get that rank 5. Yep, so now I got that rank 5, and yeah, once again we went for artillery platform when we didn't really need to. I could have probably just gone more to the left and picked off another reactor, but doesn't really matter. We go for the level 2 Ranger Drop, Fuel Air Bomb, and Spectre Gunship, and my A10 Strikers ready. So this time I'm just going to combo all three of those things, and we can pick off those last buildings. And that is how I beat General Alexander without building any units as General Towns. Now, if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do have a playlist if you want to check out any more of my general challenges without building any units. I'm Cracklo, I'll see you next time. Bye.
You are victorious.
It's not fair. One more superweapon and I would have beaten you, General. Challenge me again. I dare you.